Devil Wears Prada 2 kicked off the summer movie season, but before it did, it had a great marketing campaign and a great marketing push up into the release of the movie. We're going to talk about all that here, and I'm going to tell you why it's reminiscent of another movie that came out in 2008 and how that movie took on the same type of strategy to become a success. We're also going to take a look at all the in-theater movie merchandise, the different promotional tie-ins and brand deals that this movie had leading up into its release, and why I think it was a big-time success from a marketing perspective and from a merchandise perspective. So as you can see, that's been on the screen, the Devil Wears Prada 2 Diet Coke promotion here. It says, "Are you runway ready?" And this is kind of a theming that you're going to see across the board here. So with Diet Coke, you can kind of see how they had this thing with this May. Diet Coke and the Devil Wears Prada 2 collaborate in a stylish partnership. And if you can see the language that they're using with this marketing campaign, it's very reminiscent of the 2008 movie, The Sex and the City, the movie, because they had that kind of campaign, which I like to call it's like the girls' night out. You know, they really marketed of like, hey, this is something you're going to want to go see with your girlfriends. This is going to be something that you want to go see, get dressed up, go on a night out in town, go shopping, do stuff like that. And it really has that same type of DNA as well in this marketing campaign. We're going to take a look at that even with the posters that they provided and had in the theaters leading up into the release. But you can kind of see this. We're just going to look over this briefly here, but you get you get all this different merchandise here. You get this tote bag, you get this cup, trips to New York to see the premiere, different things like that. And again, we see this promotion a lot in other types of movies, but to see it with the Devil Wears Prada 2, and we're going to take a look at how they kind of captured this with another promotion they did, which was with L'Oreal Paris. So again, they're tapping into makeup. They're wanting to be on the store shelves. They're going to be where people are already at, which is in the makeup aisles, which is in the grocery store aisles, which is in online with these different ads. And you kind of see the branding, L'Oreal with the Devil Wears Prada 2. A runway-ready collaboration. So again, you're just constantly seeing the runway. That's a big theming for the movie, obviously, because the Devil Wears Prada 2 is about that. But what's really cool about this marketing campaign is you get themed stuff. You get themed makeup. You get themed things like this. So you can kind of see the different makeup. I don't know a whole lot about makeup, but I think it's still a cool marketing campaign for what they did with L'Oreal. Walmart, which I thought was really interesting. They have a Tresemme landing page here on Walmart called the A-List Collection. And you can kind of see this different stuff like that. You got the workable hairspray, again, runway ready. I mean, that's how we're seeing it across the board. And again, I keep mentioning the Sex and the City movie, and it kind of had the same type of thing. I mean, they're both kind of going for that same type of audience, that opening weekend, making it feel like an event to go see this movie. And I think that's what the Devil Wears Prada 2 did so well, and why it's, a true summer blockbuster to kick off the summer movie season, which is really refreshing, because a lot of times we always see a Marvel movie kick off the summer movie season. And don't get me wrong, I get hyped for those as well. But it was really cool to see a movie in this genre kind of kick it off, and you kind of see the different products that they have at Tresemme here at Walmart.com. And then you go to Amazon and they have a landing page for L'Oreal. So we talked about L'Oreal earlier. They have another makeup page or landing page here for this makeup, and you can kind of scroll down with the different branding of the Devil Wears Prada 2 branding here on the makeup. And then we go to Nordstrom here, and they have this company called Tweezerman, the Devil Wears Prada. You can kind of have these beauty supply, tweezers right there. You got the different nail filings. You got the toenail clippers, the fingernail clippers. So you're kind of seeing how they're doing all this different branding across the board. They're getting into the department stores. They're getting into the grocery stores. They're getting online. And we can kind of see another Walmart thing here where they had a fashion line with Scoop, and it was Devil Wears Prada themed clothing. And that kind of fit into the feel and look of the Devil Wears Prada. And we got this at Walmart. So not only are we seeing like this movie that's about high-end fashion industry, but we're seeing how this is like kind of trickling into Walmart. Like I said, department stores, they're finding where people are already at. They're going to get groceries or whatever. And now there's Devil Wears Prada 2. And unlike you would see with like a movie, like a big Disney movie or something, where you're going to see a lot of that stuff in the toy aisles, or you're going to start seeing a lot of that stuff in the cereal aisles and breakfast food aisles and stuff like that. You're seeing this with the fashion aisles. So I thought that was a really great thing that they really implemented into the Devil Wears Prada 2. And having this themed clothing line to go along with the release of the movie is really, really cool. I was at Target earlier, and they had the tie-in book that was kind of over in the like when you're walking past the women's shoes section, there it was right then, the novel, the Devil Wears Prada 2 novel, the tie-in book. And it was really cool to see that. And then you got stuff like Starbucks, where Starbucks unveils a new beverage collection inspired by the Devil Wears Prada 2. If you don't remember, in the first movie, there's a big scene where they go get Starbucks coffee, and this commercial, if you haven't seen, it's got Adrian Grenier in it, and they're just kind of, you know, making a play-in joke about how the boyfriend's not back in this one and this whole thing. So it's really kind of rewarding people that have fallen in love with this movie over the past 20 years. And that's the thing, is they didn't just rely on the nostalgia of it, because the nostalgia is definitely a big force. And you can kind of see this picture here where it's got Emily, Miranda, Andy, Nigel. Just really smart stuff that's going to be if you're a big fan of this movie, stuff you love to see, because this is a movie that you're not used to seeing promotional tie-in items. You're not used to seeing merchandise for it. And the first movie kind of came out and was a huge success, and it's been one of the most syndicated movies ever. I mean, you see this all the time, whether it be on E-channel, any type of channel you see it, and people are just loving this movie. And there's a big nostalgia push here, but what I really like is that they do a partnership. So, you know, Starbucks today announced a global collaboration with 20th Century Studios, The Devil Wears Prada 2, which hits theaters May 1st. This campaign includes a curated lineup of 4 beverages inspired by the film's iconic characters and crafted to bring cinematic flair to the daily coffee ritual. So again, look at this secret menu. Devil Wears Prada 2 secret menu. Miranda's signature order, a no-foam extra shot. I'll let you read it right there. It's all on the screen, but you got Miranda's signature order, Andy's cappuccino, Nigel's go-to doppio, and Emily's fave iced chai. That's a really, really cool thing. Because again, like I always talk about, you see a lot of things. We're getting a Mandalorian and Grogu Burger King menu that's coming out. We're getting a lot of different fast food stuff for movies that are for the whole family. This is a movie that really knows its audience. It knows what kind of stuff that the audience goes and does, and it really delivers on stuff like this. So a movie that you're not used to seeing that you're getting here. And that's why it's reminiscent of the 2008 The Sex and the City of the movie, because there was a built-in fan base there for the TV show, and it found a way to make really interesting product placement, promotional tie-ins during that movie as well. And that movie did extremely well in 2008, which had a lot of competition going, but it did extremely well because it had that girls' night out thing where, like, a lot of times these summer movies are geared towards, you know, the whole family. They're geared towards, going to see the new superhero movie, going to see the new epic, going to see in the new big summer blockbuster, action, explosion, comedy, all that different stuff. And this movie said, hey, this is a genre that doesn't usually get this treatment. We're going to treat this like a full-fledged summer blockbuster with the big promotional tie-ins, and that's what I love about this promotional campaign and this marketing campaign for this movie. And you kick it over to the movie theaters, and you can kind of see the landing pages here at AMC The Shop. You got the pre-order right here of the Devil Wears Prada 2 handbag popcorn bucket. This is something that people are really wanting to get. This is something that when you go to the movies, you're usually seeing stuff like the Super Mario Galaxy movie. You're starting to see, just tens of like big, family films. And again, to have merchandise that is for this movie is why it's so unique, because you're not used to seeing it in this genre of film. And not only do they have like the iconic characters, of course you got Meryl Streep, you got Anne Hathaway, you got Emily Blunt, you got Stanley Tucci. Like, that's going to drive people that are fans of the movie to go see the movie, to see those characters again. But this promotion was really cool just to bring a brand awareness to the whole thing and get a new generation of fans to kind of go and watch this movie. You kind of see AMC Theater here. They even had the Devil Wears Prada 2 opening night event. And you kind of see the Dolby Cinema. You get a pair of sunglasses, that are reminiscent of Miranda in the movie. And then, you kind of finally you get a couple more things, and you could see the poster here. And the reason I wanted to kind of focus on the poster, and I'm zooming in here, is because look at this cast. Meryl Streep, Anne Hathaway, Emily Blunt, Stanley Tucci. And you know what they all have in common for the most part? You don't see them on television. You don't see them on TV shows streaming a lot. You see them in the movies. Like Meryl Streep, you got to go to the movie theaters to see Meryl Streep. I'm not saying she's never been involved in a show, but this felt like a movie that you got to go to the theaters to be a part of this event. You got to go to the theaters to be a part of this big event. Get dressed up, really, get the runway thing going and really feel like you're a part of a girls' night out. And that's what was really cool about these posters. Even the first poster, they just focus on the 4 characters. I mean, you've seen this across the board. These are 4 extremely likable actors who always bring it with the movie's releases. People are very satisfied. And these are characters that people have loved. I mean, this is 20 years in the making, and it's really that simple just to say, hey, we're bringing another Devil Wears Prada to the theater. And that's what it's all about. So again, this movie, the marketing campaign for this movie, I thought was brilliant. I thought they did an incredible job with the partnerships, and I didn't even go over every single one of them in this video today. But the partnerships they have with the beauty brands, the clothing brands, and the beverage brands, I thought was extremely smart. It's a way for them to carve out a separate thing because, again, they're not competing with, if you go to the toy aisles, if you go to stuff like that, like the cereal aisles, you're going to see a lot of competition between those family-friendly movies. Like I said, Super Mario Galaxy, the movie, all the way into, you know, Spider-Man Brand New Day coming out in July. You're going to see a lot of that stuff on the toy aisles and stuff. They're all competing with each other. Devil Wears Prada 2 didn't have any competition where these areas were, because there's no other movie that's doing it like this in this genre. So I just thought it was really smart. It was very reminiscent of the Sex and the City, the movie marketing campaign, which was a lot of fun during that time frame because that was a real surprise hit. I think people were taken aback like, oh man, this movie, we weren't sure they were going to come to the theaters to see this movie because they're so used to seeing it on TV. And the fact that that movie did so well in theaters because they really made it feel like this had to be an event. This almost is like going to see a play or going to see a musical. You really need to get dressed up. You need to go see it opening weekend. You need the market on your calendars, and you need to go see this movie. And I thought that that's what was so successful about this marketing campaign. And you see the cool movie merchandise to come along with it. So let me know in the comments below if you went and saw this movie. Let me know if this marketing, what part of the marketing you saw out in the wild, whether it be at the grocery stores, the department stores, maybe it was online, maybe it was at Starbucks. Let me know what you saw because I'm really interested to see like kind of how this movie was sold to you and kind of how it entered into your psyche. Basically, you're just walking around the street, maybe you saw a billboard. I'm definitely interested to see how hyped you were for this movie, or if it was purely just based on your love of the first movie that got you in the theater. But I definitely want to hear that in the comments below. And if you love movie marketing deep dives, if you love promotional tie-ins, if you love the biggest movies of the year, the biggest movies with the biggest marketing campaigns and all that different stuff, I think you're going to like it around here, and I think you should check out my other videos and definitely stay around and subscribe to the channel if that's something you're interested in. I really appreciate it. Make sure to hit the thumbs up button if you made it this far in the video. I'd really appreciate it and help out the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.